welcome to Table Talks on Today with Paul. Today I'm happy to share with you a comic book collection that I had basically started back when I was a little kid in the early 90s, and just so happens due to going through some things in the basement the other day, some collectibles and that sort of thing, I happened to run into my nice little box of comics here. Oh yeah, look at that. That's pretty hefty too. It's got that nice little built-in handles there, little top there, and there you go. You got the little sleeves in there with the little cardboard backing and the little plastic covers that you insert it all into. That's the ideal for protecting them anyways. That's the thought. So we're gonna get that to the side, and I'll go ahead and pop this over here. Quite the collection for my standard, considering I didn't really actually care so much for reading the comics as much as the artwork, and also I think at the time it was kind of known, even as a little kid, somehow I knew that these were collectibles. These were things that might gain value down the road. You never know. And of course, you've seen the previous videos with the Marvel Legends, the articulated comic book art. Well, that art comes from somewhere. It just so happens to come out of these little pages of these comics that we got. I'm just going to kind of go through and grab all these comics out and just kind of go down memory lane, so to speak, or just kind of see what shakes out. So here we go. Let's see, what do we got first here? First, I have the Uncanny X-Men book, actually. A little actual book, a comic book. Yeah, how about that? Comic books, actual comic book. Black and white illustration there, and I'm not exactly sure when, what, and where, but yeah, definitely looks a little bit older. So there you go. There's the Uncanny X-Men actual book. Let's see here. Now we're actually going to look at, there we go. Now, this is exciting to me. Alex Ross, my favorite comic book artist of all time, because he has a classic style. He likes to depict things in a realistic fashion, and so that really gets me excited. I think it's super cool to see these heroes look real, just like you see in the movies that keep coming out. So there's Kingdom Come. That was one of his. We've got a couple more in here already. This is very few. If this might even be the only one that Alex Ross has done for Marvel. I don't know. Somebody would be able to correct me on that down in the comments down below. But very cool. Not going to open these up or nothing. There might be a couple examples down the road here. I know there's a couple that I can show you some of his artwork in particular. But very cool to see Spider-Man and Human Torch and all these Marvel characters depicted in a realistic fashion. So there's that. And we have one called Uncle Sam. And so there he goes and actually gets into more so kind of a politicized kind of feel for a comic book. Whatever your take is on it. But here he is. He's depicting good old Americana in this one. Boy, okay, well, funny enough as it were, the actual t-shirt I'm wearing and the next comic book up. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna wet my whistle real quick. Thank you very much. Tasty. Okay, here we have, what does it say? October. I want to see the date on here because I'm thinking it's 1993. I don't see a date right off the bat, but I'm thinking this is definitely early 90s. This is Deadpool, and how about that? I've got some of the earliest Deadpool there. I think that's pretty neat, just to even have one of them, especially how hot he is these days, how cool he is. Of course, the comic book art does not show him as awesome as they do in the movies, but there you go, we got Deadpool. And here we got a little fun series called Amalgam Comics. I believe that came out around 97. And so here you go. You got my favorite, I'll tell you what. I'll explain what this is all about to begin with. The whole idea was DC and Marvel is going to go ahead and combine forces, and not only that, but also combine characters together. So, pretty neat idea, actually. So here you go with Dark Claw, and you've got probably my favorite hero out of the DC universe, Batman, with my favorite hero of all time, Wolverine, mixed up together. So that's pretty sweet right there. Here we go with another one called Super Soldier. You got the best of both worlds between Superman out of DC and Captain America out of Marvel. Now those didn't last very long, and I forget how many iterations there were. I even had a poster from the magazine Wizard at one time. I always used to like those free posters out there. There might even be a couple in here for all I know. Okay, unlimited access here. Don't really know much about it. I think it's got something to do with a larger grand scale of things. Obviously in the DC. No. Wait a minute. We're seeing a mix of DC and Marvel in here. I don't really know much about that, but I think it might have something to do with leading up to the Amalgam Comics to do. So there's that. Okay, I might as well just rattle a few off here as I go. We got World's Finest. Okay, I've got a couple of these. There's Catwoman, very prominently displayed on the front. And we got another World's Finest with Superman and Batman teaming up from the looks of it right there. And of course, my favorite main man here. I've got a few of these coming. We got Wolverine. Yeah, love Wolverine. Just my favorite all time. So I got quite a few in here of him. There we go again. I just love the tiger stripe suit. No offense to the brown and yellow, but as anybody's recently seen on my Marvel Legends, I'm super excited to get the tiger stripe. Really cool. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab a few here and just keep rolling with it. Yeah, we're gonna keep going Wolverine for a little bit here. There we go, Wolverine and Jubilee. Right there. I bought quite a few of these in succession, actually. I kept up with this series for a little bit at the time. I always thought this was the coolest. It had Wolverine holograph, whatever you want to call it, on the front there. See if we can get the light to kind of light that up. There we go with, I think that's Lady Deathstrike. Pretty sure that's what her name is. And of course you got... ooh, yeah, there we go. We got Wolverine with his bone claws, and there's Nightcrawler on the front. Of course, here's a little bit of hologram, and kind of cool stuff. I like the when they make the covers real neat like this. Of course, it really draws your attention, so that you really want to go pay. How much is it? Like $1.95 back in the mid '90s. You know, okay. At least that's what I'm seeing on this one, and I do believe this is the one where Magneto strips Wolverine of all his adamantium metal. Pretty sick cover, if you ask me, actually. All right, here we go with the the whole Marvel X-Men theme, if you will, still. But you got Sabretooth and Mystique here. Don't really know much about it, other than I know the characters, and obviously that's what drew my attention. And of course, can't go wrong with Wolverine's days on the special Team 7, Team X. I think that was his days with Deadpool and all that kind of stuff back. Some might remember the first Wolverine Origins movie. That kind of hints at some of this action here. And of course, we have us a milestone edition of what the original X-Men looked like. Here's a reprint of one of the original comics, just kind of neat. See that old school style. Of course, I see Iceman on there off the bat. That's a change. And of course, yep, there you go. You got Archangel, and you got the Beast in his original style, not the blue hairy Beast we know today. Another X-Men comics with Cyclops front and center. For any of you Cyclops fans out there. And here we go. We got Cyclops front and down in front and center with Captain raising the shield up above. And then of course here's the modern Beast and Mr. Sinister right there. They're trying to defeat. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. So this kicks off what Fox was actually had the Kids Network actually had the X-Men cartoon back in the 90s, so they also decided to put out their own comic book series as well, based on the actual cartoon. So got a few of those. There's another one. Excuse me. Let's see here. Keep going through here. Yep, got some more of this Fox Kids action. There you go. Another one. Yeah, just a few more to go. You just never know what I'm going to come up with. Here's Bishop. Haven't seen him in the mix yet, have we? Yeah, I always liked Bishop and Cable. That whole idea of time travel, all that fun stuff. And here we go with the Sentinels on the top cover and the whole team. Of course, I love the fact that Wolverine's on there. Just some random Uncanny X-Men action there. Always just had to be after cool looking covers and all that. There you got Storm front and center. Of course, gotta like I gotta like Wolverine being up on there. Uncanny X-Men. Then they had these X-Men Unlimited comics. They were just a little bit thicker as far as the book itself went, and somehow just seemed a little bit more special to me. So I tried to keep up with this series. Tasty at the time when it came out, so I pretty much just kept rolling with buying them, and they definitely seemed like they was worth it at the time. I believe that's yeah, we got Rogue on there with Mystique and Nightcrawler, and I don't know who this, I forget who this pterodactyl looking guy is, but it's kind of funny looking to see them fighting him. I forget who that one guy on the ground is. I think somewhere out of the future, maybe even. Stack's getting a little bit heavy and a little bit tall. No, I mean heavy. I didn't even lift it. And then we run into this kind of, well, in the 90s, they tried to stretch to bring in more readership. I think it was more than anything. Of course, comic book business, paper products in general, whether it be newspaper, print, any print product these days is really going down. So whatever you can do to boost sales, right? But in the 90s with the comics, they started going with the theme of 2099. What does it look like about 1,000 years down the line or something like that? What the future Spider-Man look like in this case? What's the future X-Men look like? So I always snapped up these first editions of those comics because I just thought maybe, yeah, you never know, maybe it'll be a rarity one day. You never know. Kind of neat. Don't have too much of the DC, I don't think. Well, outside of, say, Superman or Batman. Of course, the two most popular anyways, but here you go, Green Lantern and Flash there. There's some other random ones in the mix. We got the Ghost. I don't really know anything about that, but kind of neat looking. And the Phantom. I don't know much about the Phantom either, except I do believe they made a movie or two out of him. I'm actually gonna go ahead and push this stack forward and give me some more space to my side right here. Looks like we're getting into some Batman now. This is actually one labeled Robin. Don't know much about it. There you go. We got Joker on there with him. Some random Moon Knight comic book. Yeah, I know that Moon Knight had a bit of, big enough to have a series, but don't really know much about it. I say that a lot in this video, don't I? And oh my, and I cannot believe, but yeah, they came out with that one. Yeah, Mr. T, of course, I loved the A-Team growing up. Yeah, just pretty ridiculous, but there you go, I got it. The #1 issue of Mr. T and the T-Force. Of course, I always liked Iron Man. I just pick up a couple of these random pre-sleeve comics from the store when I could. I'm actually noticing here they've got 1993 is when this was. They got some little giveaway card in there. I don't know. Maybe it's a sticker of some kind. We got, of course, Jack Kirby was huge. Looks like here's one of his comics that he branched out to past the standard Marvel fare that he was wrapped into with Stan Lee and the gang back in the day. We've got an older school Avengers annual comic book. Yep. And here we go. It looks like we got Batman with some villain who kind of wants to portray himself as some sort of older Greek emperor or something. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. Batman Nightfall looks like a pretty gritty, fun series. So we'll go ahead and show what we got of that. Oh yeah, there's Robin in peril. Looks like in the bottom of a sewer there between Bane and Croc. Yep. Kind of like the art on that. That definitely would have been what drew my eye. And of course there was the Batman comic series as well on Fox Kids. So here's just one in particular I happen to have. Yeah, I can't go wrong with Bruce Wayne. Batman getting a little kissy face there. Even the Bat needs a little bit of love now and again, right? Here's one of those more so futuristic style comics, so like real gimmicky. I mean, look at that suit. It's very robotic and mechanically armored, almost like Iron Man kind of looks like that kind of suit. As far as the style of get up, and here we go again with another one like that. Yeah, him with the Punisher. Yeah, I thought it was kind of neat at the time. I always kind of liked that Tony Stark, Iron Man kind of exoskeleton suit type thing. Why not on Batman, right? And here we go, Punisher Warzone. Of course, Punisher, just a real gritty character to begin with. Really cool. Of course, they're going to have the new season of Punisher out on Netflix from what I hear pretty soon. So that'd be pretty awesome. Love the first season. Really great. And of course, you can't go wrong with Thomas Jane from the movies. And of course, he's got a little to-doodle out there called Dirty Laundry, I believe it's called. This is a little fan fiction. But of course, with Thomas Jane. So pretty cool special effects. And I forget his name right now. Ron Perlman, yes, he's in that fan fiction as well. Here we go with the future Punisher. Like I said, that whole futuristic thing, I tried to... And of course, you cannot forget about Spawn. Of course, I had the hockey figure collection video the other day. And it all starts right here. Todd McFarlane, Spawn. He decided to get into the action figure game I was saying. So there you go. That's a little Spawn action. In fact, I do believe this one in particular came with a Spawn fixture. A Spawn action figure I had back when. It's long since been lost, but I've always eyeballed the Spawn action figures time to time. I thought they're pretty neat. My buddy Seth out there, he really likes Spawn, and so he's got a pretty cool figure of him. Here we go into some Spidey-Man. You can't go wrong with Spider-Man. Got kind of an older issue here. I believe that villain's called the Scorpion. And here's a reprint there. You got Spider-Man Classics, reprinting some of the older stuff for what was us younger kids at the time. Pretty neat. Here's another one of them with him and the Fantastic Four. And Web of Spider-Man. There were so many different series of every character out there. It's just incredible how people try to even keep up. But here you go with the Web of Spider-Man. Then we have this, well, I consider to be a really cool cover of the Amazing Spider-Man. Now let's go ahead and keep rolling here. If I can, there we go. There we go. There you go. Here's another Amazing Spider-Man with Carnage and Venom on the cover. Thought that was pretty cool. Here we go again with these 2099s. Yeah, really trying to, like I said, get a little extra bang for the buck. Try to spice things up a little bit, shake things up a little bit, if you will, like we do on Today with Paul. Everybody's got to shake things up time to time. Here we go with the, I think this is from when the original Spider-Man movie came out with Tobey Maguire, a little freebie from Walmart. I don't remember exactly what it looks like on the inside, but pretty neat they gave this way as a promotion. Tasty. And here we go with 2099 Unlimited. There you go. That name Unlimited seems to be referencing kind of thicker comic book copy there, a little bit more meat to it, so you have a little more fun. And here we are with that, trying to sell that futuristic thing again. Of course, we got the futuristic Hulk, the 2099 Hulk, and the 2099 Spider-Man. I don't know, the costume on Spider-Man's kind of neat. I kind of dig it. I got the Incredible Hulk. Gonna have to throw him in there somewhere. Of course, I wish I had one of the original. It would be incredible to have one of the original comics of the Wolverine and the Hulk. If I can talk right today. Yeah, that'd be incredible. Just because Wolverine makes his first appearance in one of the Hulk comics, I do believe. Now we're getting into Superman. Now, of course, this is around the time where all the hype was going to be about the death of Superman. And here we go. I forget Doomsday, that's the name. Because I just happen to remember that. I didn't have to remember that because I just so happen to have 2 copies of that one. And that happens to be, quite a few before the real deal. And this was hype to the extreme, the death of Superman. I have no idea what this one's worth, but I just remember the hype was so big, it was just incredible. Everybody was talking about, oh my gosh, they killed off Superman, the most indestructible superhero of all time, and they killed him off. Oh my goodness. And then you start getting some random crazy Supermans. I start branching off into all kinds of different Superman Steel, the Man of Steel. Yeah, literally the Man of Steel. And here you go with another one of those. And of course they had the Shaquille O'Neal movie, The Man of Steel. He played, I don't even know if I saw that one, but I just remember that being out there. So anyways, there's that. The Adventures of Superman, I don't know, just why not, like the cover. And then they tried to don't mess with somebody's superhero. Do not mess with them. They don't like it. And they came out with the new Superman. Pretty much as far as the market went, it was kind of like the new Coke. Don't mess with the formula, dude. We don't like it. His powers are all different. And then you got the costume. Here we go with another one with him. I guess there's 2 different versions of that Superman at the same time. And here we go. We got some Green Lantern here. I like the Green Lantern. Green Lantern's cool. I remember back when I was a kid, not only did we trade comics, we traded cards all the time. Comics were not as popular with us as kids, me and my crew that we were, but we had a little time in the day, besides rolling around playing street hockey all day, every day, we'd be trading stuff back and forth like it really meant something. I just think this is pretty cool. I believe that's the Hal Jordan Green Lantern. And I actually forget what this new Green Lantern is, but his name. But yeah, pretty cool. They got the new costume there. Pretty neat stuff. Now, of course, like I always said, I was more of all about the artwork than I was the comics. Well, Marvel Masterpieces just so happened to be that itch that would, that scratch that would itch that, and it is all just artwork. That's what it is. It's one of the first few comics I think I ever bought because I think that's probably what got me into it. It's about the artwork. And here we go with Marvel Masterpieces number 2. And then here we go. It's just labeled Marvel Masterpieces, but that's a pretty neat rendition of Wolverine and Sabretooth getting at it together on there in the cover. Yeah, exoskeletons, Knights of Tomorrow. Don't know anything about this, but I've always been interested in the exoskeleton kind of robotic thing. And that's part of the reason I'm attracted to some of the anime out there. Of course, I had been an anime fan as well. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and grab what's left in here. Put it on the table because we're basically done with this box. This is it. This is the last of the stack on that one. And then I can kind of move some of this to the side, brush some of this to the side. How about that? Oh my. Please excuse my Christmas. I'm going to crack open another tasty beverage here. Thank you very much. Now, this next one I just thought looked really cool. I thought this was just the neatest looking character I had seen and debuted. There you go, debuted. And this was a new character when I was a kid. And I don't think I really kept up with this one. More about to see. I don't think I have another single comic book in here about this. There you go, Night Thrasher. I just thought it was really cool. He's got his nightsticks right there on his wrist there to shoot out like a billy club, like a cop billy club. And oh my goodness, holy Toledo, the Ninja Turtle craze. I didn't really have any Ninja Turtle comics, and why I have this one, oh my, yeah, probably the worst Ninja Turtle movie of all time, and they put it in a comic book form, and I bought it somehow. For some reason, I was probably one of the very few to buy that one, so there you go. Not a clue. There you go. There's stretching the imagination. Yeah, why? Okay, but they did. Now, this next one, I actually did watch the cartoon, and I actually liked the cartoon. There were some weird cartoons that came out in the early 90s, mid 90s, if you ask me. I grew up around motorcycles, and so here you go, Biker Mice from Mars. The very first issue, there you go. I got the very first issue of Biker Mice from Mars. Yeah, it was pretty neat. I don't know why. And here's number 2. Yeah, but you know, it's childhood memory, so whatever. We got Green Arrow and Speedy. And Green Arrow's cool. I can dig it. Let's see what we got here. We got just like a little mini freebie giveaway comic book of Spider-Man there. Just a little something just for giggles. You know, there's a little, there we go. There's our first piece of inside, well, our second piece of inside the comic book artwork. Yeah, very mini comic. It's labeled mini comic, very mini. Oh yeah, here we go. Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, I don't know where I got this. Not a darn clue, but I like Ghost in the Shell. I bought the movie after I got into anime, and then of course they had a very successful anime TV series. And so here you go. They got the Ghost in the Shell comic I picked up. Oh, there it says right on the front. It says Wizard. Yeah, this was in the Wizard magazine. This probably came out. I probably got this before I ever saw the movie, to tell the truth, because yeah, Wizard was back buying that back when I was a kid. I wasn't into anime yet. Of course, anime in my generation, of course, I graduated high school in the year 2000, was not that easy to obtain. Actually, just to be downright frank about it. And even people got made fun of. Of course, my younger friend Seth, he's just 10 years younger than me. He said basically his generation grew up with anime. If you didn't watch Dragon Ball Z, you were the strange kid. Here you go. There's some comic book action. Oh, I see how this opens up, and this actually, there you go. Whatever that one is. Here's a mini Batman comic. Didn't even realize that I had these mini comic books in here. It's kind of neat. Yeah, here you go. Looks like a reprint of an earlier Batman comic. Probably something given away for free, and you know, maybe the Wizard or something else. Here we go with Eternal Warrior. I'm gonna guess he's probably something like Wolverine, but maybe or maybe not without the powers. Here it looks like about based on, no, I'll probably judge that as World War II. Yeah, I took history, quite a bit of it, in fact. I'm gonna say World War II. That's pretty neat. What do we got here? We got some sort of X-Men comic book without a cover. Yeah, hey, still reading material. Why not? You got kind of an older school X-Men there. You got the more classic looking Cyclops design there. A la, 70s or something. And oh my. Yeah. Now, I'll show the back here first while I just look at the front for a minute. Issue number 5 by Slave Labor Comics there. Slave Labor Graphics. I had this gal that I knew in community college. I used to, for some reason, we had similar interests. And she asked me if I knew about Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. Wow, that's quite the title. Yeah. Well, for any of you who don't know, just so happens the creator of this Johnny the Homicidal Maniac comic is also the creator behind a popular cartoon known as Zim the Invader. So, as you can see, this is a well beat up comic book, and I think you can see where the stylistic cues for Zim the Invader come from. Pretty neat. Can't believe a kid's cartoon was created by the same person who made something like this. So there you have it. Take it or leave it. I think it's pretty neat. Kind of reminds me of some older fun days, and I forgot all about this till I opened the box today. Give you a little shot of some more artwork in that. There you go. Who's who? Well, yeah, it gets confusing out there in comic books, doesn't it? Who's who in the DC universe? This who this is put out. So this is a May of '85. It says on the cover. So yeah, there you go. The comic book characters in '85. Marvel Age. Meet the New Joes, the official Marvel News magazine. There you go. I'm guessing this is a comic book just to kind of share the news with you. Comic book news in a comic book. There you go. That's a pretty neat concept. So there you have that. Let's see. In this sleeve, I actually have a couple things to take out. Looks like I got some mini posters here. Just for giggles. Okay. Now I would have definitely gotten this with an anime purchase order. There you go. Nice black and white with the Dragon Ball Z fellas you got. Yeah, you got just about everybody you can imagine there. The whole main good guy crew. So there you go. On the back there, they're showing the Majin Buu saga. Let's see here. Oh yeah, here we go. Now I know for a fact this came out of Wizard. Beavis and Butthead dreaming of bigger things. And of course, most obviously, what their interest is. There you go. Just about any guy, right? There we go. Here's another Wizard. Yeah, this was a pretty neat one. I like the artwork on that one. That's pretty neat. Just exact. And that's obviously a little ripped up. All the pinholes I have on these too. These were all pinned up on my wall at home when I was a kid. Straight out of Wizard. Yeah. Speaking of Straight Outta Wizard, I was just watching the Straight Outta Gotham video the other day. Anybody interested in seeing kind of a remix of the Straight Out of Compton meant for the Batman universe? There you go, Straight Outta Gotham. Anyways, here you go with the new Superman. Oh my, yeah, he didn't last very long, but just the same, he looked pretty cool there, holding his old suit up like it meant nothing. Let's see here. Oh my, I can't believe that one's in there. We got a treat coming up next, actually, in my opinion. And here's that red and blue Superman duo. Man, I really, you can basically label me a pack rat there. Yeah, I definitely was. I don't know. I guess I figured some of these things might be collectible or just pretty neat down the road. You never know what you're gonna end up hanging up or whatnot. I see dates of 1998 on the back of that one, just for giggles. I thought I'd say that. I actually got Wizard for quite some time. Okay, so here's the real treat. Oh my. And I wouldn't even know half of who all these people are. Although I think it's pretty neat though. I think I see a Green Lantern Iron Man combo up there. But here you go. You got the amalgam comic universe, that mashup between DC and Marvel. Just some of the main heroes just kind of going through the city there in a nice little action kind of scene. So there you go. And so that's pretty neat. You get to see. I like the fact that Iron Man Green Lantern are a combo. And there you go on the back with 1997. Yeah, I thought I had that nailed down just right. All right, well, enough of all that. And Heavenly Days. I know, for any of you who've hung in this long, I appreciate you. But just so happened to have a few more items to show you. Here's a really big comic book. There you go. Probably see it pretty well back here, I'm guessing. Here we go with Alex Ross again. My favorite artist for comics, period. I don't care. He's just my favorite. He's got that realistic thing. His mom was actually an advertisement artist back when 40s, 50s, that sort of thing, and that's kind of where he took his cues from. Here you go with another realistic view of Superman there. Hopefully that's popping up well on camera. See about a couple other shots maybe. Oh, here we go. You got Bruce Wayne there, and of course alter ego Superman saving the day. Yeah, Superman Peace on Earth. That's what we got here. How about it? Here we go. Marvel shaking things up. Marvel Zombies. Yeah, I just thought that was the neatest thing when I seen it. I was actually in a comic book shop out walking around. I find walking around is probably the best way to kind of discover an area. So I ended up wandering into this comic book shop in Kentucky one time and found that. I do believe I have the full collection between that edition and this edition. Obviously this is still plastic sealed, this one with the price tag on it, which is sad considering I bought these about going on 4 years ago now. There you go, all zombified. The world has gone crazy. It has gone to zombie chaos, and the superheroes are not immune. So there you go with that. And here we go, Superman Red Sun. Well, the whole idea here is, imagine what if Superman did not actually land in America and he landed in Mother Russia, right? And so here you go with Superman the Red Sun, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we get to see yep, there we go. All right, there's a Batman ready for winter. Hopefully that shows up pretty well. Yeah. Sad part is, this is the stack that's sitting on my bookshelf upstairs, and I haven't really read these. Although I have gotten into this, of course, like I said before, big Alex Ross fan. Just can't get enough of his artistic style. Wow, who doesn't want to see the heroes look real? I mean, me personally, that's just my opinion. I think it's just the coolest. Oh, in fact, there's where I left off. Okay, yeah, that's where I left off in this one. You got Shazam racing Superman and the Flash. There you go. Pause on that for a minute. And it looks like, from what I just saw, that the Flash is actually going so fast, it looks like he's getting old on him. So, there you go. And of course, one of the coolest things that I've gotten, this was actually a gift from my brother, is Mythology. This is a book about Alex Ross's artwork, actually. So there's keep seeing the Man of Steel. I always see the Dark Knight. There you go. Yep, the good old Dark Knight. This has got the whole story of how Alex Ross got into artwork and doing his whole thing. And it actually shows his process for developing his characters. I don't know if I'm not going to waste anybody's time more than I need to, so I'm not going to get into trying to find too much specifics. So there's the Dark Knight again, though. And actually, that just brings to mind the one comic book that I'm really sad that I haven't gotten yet, which I should get on Amazon and buy from a second seller, is that Batman War and Crime that hopefully you found up top there. Here's some more cool Batman artwork by him. Just very cool. Look at all them scars on his back. Just crazy. Let's see here if we can get a little bit of taste of what he. Oh, that's actually pretty neat right there. Yeah, that's cool. Spider-Man and Superman together. I don't know how or why, but pretty neat, especially when drawn by him. He actually does use models for his artwork. I'm gonna try to find that real quick. I don't want, like I said, I don't want to get too whatever. There's actually a reference to Norman Rockwell in here. Yeah, I'm not seeing it, but at least here's some of his actual sketching. There you go. And there's even a comic book in the back of this. The last few pages is basically Batman with a kryptonite bullet and a gun. Probably one of the first few times you ever see him do that. So there you go. And not to get too far off topic here. It's all comic books, just the same. But also, you know, what about the comic strips? I love Calvin and Hobbes. When I was growing up, the Scholastics program at school was actually one of the few places. I just can't believe they actually sold comic books to us kids for reading. But one of the few things I would actually enjoy reading. I love Calvin and Hobbes. And so I got these collection books. Of course, Bill Watterson there. Yeah. Revenge of the Babysat. There you go. Yep. And of course, you just saw Weirdos from Another Planet. And of course, they had these big books. And mostly black and white comic strips in here. Every once in a while, there'd be a color one. That's pretty neat. Just the imagination of this little boy named Calvin. And so his stuffed tiger ends up being his very good best companion, just going on all these crazy adventures. Homicidal Psycho Jungle Cat. There you go. Of course, you know, just the way Calvin perceives the world is very unique, and you just never know. There you go, his superhero alter ego. So let's see here. And of course, not really a comic book per se, but still beloved around the world, I do believe. Where's Waldo? Yeah, this was fun growing up, and sure enough, some of the artwork is pretty neat. I mean, it's kind of interesting. There's things you can find in here if you really look around at while you're trying to find Waldo. You know, these little scenes that they just kind of put in here and there. So go to another shot there just for giggles. All right, there you have it. Oh my. Anybody who stayed in, hung in this long, I want to thank you for joining me on this little journey down memory lane and having a little bit of fun with all these things that just kind of bring some fun to the world, bring some fun to life, spice things up a little bit. So anyways, I want to thank you for sharing, liking, and subscribing as always. And of course, I hope to catch you next time. Peace.